again. Inhale through the nose. We can only breathe in the moment. And we breathe. So now we allow this breath to guide us into that still sacred place of the Most High, the throne room of the heart. Wherein we are connected with everything that we need to know. Peace. Be still. Be still. Be still. If the mind drifts off, that's okay. Just gently bring it back to the breath. And now in the silence, bring to mind someone or something that you are grateful for. And feel the gratitude. And now allow that feeling of gratitude to create a small smile on your face, or maybe even a larger smile. And we breathe. with that energy of a smile from that vibration of gratitude, we send that energy of the smile down to our hearts, basically saying to the heart, thank you for all of the work that you do without us even asking. And we breathe. And within your mind's eye, feel the heart smiling back. In essence, it is smiling, saying, you're welcome. Keeping that smile on the face, we send that energy of the smile to the lungs. And that smile that we send to the lungs basically is saying, thank you, lungs, for all of the work that you do without us even thinking about it. And we breathe. And gratefully we direct that energy of the smile to the liver. Just so very grateful for the work that it does. Just so very thankful for how it functions, and it functions perfectly. And in this vibration of gratitude and love, we smile down to the stomach. Not the abdomen, but the stomach. Giving thanks for the work that it does. And with that smile still on our faces, we direct that energy of the smile to the intestines, both large intestines and small intestines, smiling our gratitude for all the work that the intestines do. again, without us even thinking about it. Just so very grateful. And now, with that smile remaining on the face, and using the beautiful powerful gift of imagination, bring someone to your mind's eye that you are grateful for, and direct that energy of the smile to them. And then see them smile back to you. And we breathe. And then bring someone else to mind and give them the smile. Bring someone to mind that makes you smile. Once again, using the power of the imagination, see yourself rising above your house, your city, your state, the nation, keeping that smile on your face. See yourself rising above the planet. This beautiful spiritual plane we call home. And beautifully and gently and lovingly smile at Mother Earth. Thanking the earth for all that it does, providing all that we need. See it spinning on its axis. And then imagine that you feel the earth saying thank you to you. Yes. Now gently find your way back onto the earth You see the nation coming into view, your state, your city, your home, and you are home. Now bring to your mind's eye an image of yourself sitting in front of you, and send you the energy of that smile. And now we take another inhale and we exhale. And ever so softly, ever so gently, we bring our awareness back to our room. Feeling the body temple, feeling the feet on the floor, feeling our bodies supported by the chair or the bed if you're lying down. Becoming aware of the energy within the room, the sounds in the room, the light in the room. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you may open your eyes. And upon opening your eyes, take a nice deep inhale. And a nice exhale. And this concludes this morning's meditation. Peace and blessings.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning all. How are y'all doing today? See, I didn't sing. I just had a little day in there, but I didn't sing because that was amazing. Alrighty, so I guess we'll get started. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Our Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, will deliver another thought-provoking message. Our guest musician is Sky Nelson, who just blessed us with an awesome song. And serving as practitioner who led that powerful meditation is Eugene Holden. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashley Goldman and Deidre Wilcher. Okay, so before Eugene comes and grounds us in prayer, let me share this about him. Eugene D. Holden has been a student of science of mind and spirit for over 33 years and has been a licensed religious science practitioner for 15 years. He worked at home office for Centers for Spiritual Living, both as program manager, then department manager of World Ministry of Prayer for 10 years. He has been a contributor to the Science of Mind magazine for 12 years, currently writing the monthly affirmations and the daily guides 1 month per year, touching lives around the world. From 1995 through 2001, Eugene served as imam in the Muslim tradition at a mosque in Southern California. He served as spiritual director for various alcohol and drug treatment centers in Southern California. Currently, Eugene is the spiritual director for Business Honoring Spirituality in Lakewood, Colorado. Eugene has over 18 years of experience as teacher and facilitator for different groups. He has facilitated retreats for ministers, practitioners, laity, as well as board of trustees. He has been a repeat facilitator for various men's groups in the Denver, Colorado area. Eugene allows vision to guide him. It is prayer that fuels him. He is deeply committed to this teaching, and it is his purpose to joyfully inspire others to remember who and what they truly are, divine beings of light. Eugene believes that together we can reveal the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And as he says, heaven is ever expanding good.
So join me in this beautiful vibration of answered prayer. And as usual, I begin my prayer from a place of gratitude. I am so very grateful. I am so very grateful because I know that even before all of us got here today, that this prayer, that our prayers are already answered. I give great thanks because I get to recognize first and foremost that there is this definite, infinite intelligence that's called by so many names. And in its original form and by its very nature, it permeates, it penetrates, and it fills the interspaces of the universe, meaning that there is no space where that which I call God is not. I recognize that this infinite intelligence, which is at the very center of the universe, has no circumference, which means that there isn't anything that exists outside of the infinite presence of God, for truly God is all there is. In the beginning, God, the Alpha, the Omega, the in-between that, all that there is and never shall be, is God revealing himself in all that we see. all that we do not see, all that we know, and all that is yet to be known. All there is God. And so recognizing that God is everywhere present at all times, I know that all times God is present right where I am, revealing himself in, through, and as, come on, Spirit, in, through, and as the I am that I am. And as I know this to be the truth of my life, I know this to be the truth of each individualized expression of the I amness that we call God, that we call Spirit, that we call love. And whatever we call it forth into our conscious awareness, recognizing that it is the foundation upon which our life stands. Right here, right now, God is, we are. And so it is in my awareness of our oneness in this thing called spirit, in this oneness of this thing called life, that I speak this word for today's service. See, I know that the word as the Lord thy God, as the law, has gone before us to prepare the way. Making sure that that way is straight, making sure that way is smooth, making sure that that way is absolutely filled with grace. And because it is already filled with grace, because it is already all right, we get to just surrender to it. Surrender to it, knowing that we are guided and directed. Sometimes we are corrected, we are shifted, we are uplifted to experience the greatest good that life, that God, that Spirit, that love has to offer. And so I also speak this word for our spiritual director, our spiritual leader, the Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, knowing that he continues to stand boldly on the foundation of Spirit, moving out of the way to allow Spirit to move him in beautiful and divine ways, knowing that the word that he speaks comes from the abundance of the heart, and it falls on open and unconditioned ears. See, I know that this time is good. I know that we are blessed, and I know that we are a blessing. And for this and for so much more than my eyes can see, than my ears can hear, for this and for so much more than these words can ever possibly convey, I truly do remain forever grateful and thankful. And so it is from the space of gratitude and thanksgiving that I now release my word into the beautiful and dynamic, potent activity of the law. Because I know that as I release my word into the law has no other recourse but to return these words unto us, not void nor empty, but absolutely and completely fulfilled. And so fulfilled, we allow it to be. I know that it is so because I declare it to be so. And so it is. Amen.
Whew. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, Eugene. Now, at this time, the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the diversity of all religions as represented by this ceremony. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Buddhism is the path of compassion. Christianity is the path of love and forgiveness. Confucianism is the path of love and forgiveness. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God. Judaism is the path of living by sacred law. Native American practice is the path of indigenous spirituality. Shintoism is the path of rituals and honoring nature. Taoism is the path of ultimate reality. Unitarian Universalist is the path of social justice and sacred activism. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. The heart represents our love for and unity with all life. Now I have some announcements for you. For information about the CSLGB's Spiritual Activism Group, the CSLGB Book Club, the LGBTQIA2+ Affinity Group, and more, visit our website. I pause for a moment. Next board meeting is October 18th. Everyone is encouraged to attend if at all possible. This way, you can stay informed and find ways you may be able to serve with such things as the new building search committee, community service, and social event planning. Sounds exciting, I know. You're ready. We'll see you at the meeting. Now, do you subscribe to CSLGB's YouTube page? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram? If not, we are encouraging you to subscribe and follow starting today. Yes, today. All right. So, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group facilitated by our very own Reverend Dr. Ray. That happens on Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not participated, may want to consider it. The investment for this is a love offering directly to Reverend Dr. Ray. For more information and to join, send an email to Raymont at cslgreaterbaltimore.org or Raymont Anderson at raymontanderson.com. Another hot one. Thursday night study group facilitated by licensed practitioner Dr. Ronnie Ellington. This is a perfect opportunity to dive deeper into the Sunday's messages delivered by Reverend Dr. Ray and others. For more information, contact Dr. Ronnie at SISTERRONI@AOL.com. Love offerings are appreciated, and to ensure that your email is identified, put CSLGB Study Group in the subject. If you're not, it's important. Membership. Membership is belonging, connection, and spiritual growth. Any time is a good time to become a member and You can now do so virtually because the Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. Sign up for the CSL Greater Baltimore newsletter. Sign up. Sign up. Here's the reason why. So you can stay informed about classes, gatherings, virtual meetings, and life-changing happenings in your CSLGB community. These are things that may not be mentioned or are not mentioned on Sunday. What you need to do is just visit www.cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information and to sign up, sign up, sign up. All right. So today you are invited to join in the after-service visioning process guided by that awesome licensed practitioner, Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Stay on the Zoom call and you will be added to the appropriate group, be that visioning or prayer. All right, y'all know what time of service it is. So you ready? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. One more time. Prayer works. And let's seal it up. Prayer works. Reverend Ray is looking at me and he's shaking his head. What's that all about? He's not joining me today, but I hear all of you yelling that prayer works. And we as a community continue to treat and move our feet knowing the truth for everyone around the planet.
Knowing the truth for who?
Everyone around the planet.
You mean that place in Eugene called home?
What? Yes, everyone around the planet.
And why do we do that, Tracy?
Because prayer works.
It works when you work it.
It works when you work it. You know, if he did that, I was going to start dancing. Okay. All right. So, check this out. Practitioners are available after today's service for one-on-one prayer. And if you can't hang out, you can always send prayer requests at any time to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. All right, what's going on? There we go. Ha! If you were with us earlier, you got a little taste from our guest musician. Sky Nelson has won songwriting and performance awards through the Positive Music Awards, West Coast Songwriters, as well as online competitions. As a prolific pianist, guitarist, and singer-songwriter, he has self-produced or co-produced 11 original albums, including the most recent unreleased Stand For Me. Sky is also an author and physicist, studying the meaning behind life's funny coincidences. His first book, Living in the Flow, The Science of Synchronicity and How Your Choices Shape Your World, was released by North Atlantic Books in 2019. His writings, research, and music can be found at www.skynelson.com. Oh, Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Sky, for that beautiful selection. Oh. All right, so now Eugene will lead us in a spiritual practice.
And so for today's spiritual practice, I have chosen a reading from one of my favorite books, Quiet Talks with the Master by Eva Bell Werber. And this is appropriate for these times, and it's entitled, Your Work. Come, my child, let peace be in your heart this day. Abide close to me and have no thought or fear for future days. Many new experiences lie just ahead of you. In the soon coming days, you shall realize, as you do not now, how far you have traveled on the path. Listen carefully to these words. Your work begins now. Not in some future time as you are apt to think, but even now is service required of you. You will grow from now on by service. It shall not always be of your choosing. Sometimes you may not even recognize it as service to me, but it is all planned, and you have a very definite place in the work which must go rapidly forward. You are learning to love the quiet of eventide, the quiet of the mountaintop, the quiet of dim-lit churches. All things that are sweet and lovely and still, your soul responds to as never before. It is as I choose, for then you hear my voice. Then can I reach the innermost path of your being, show you my way, and direct your steps. Oh, my beloved, seek every opportunity to be with me. Then shall the world in its bitter strife and loud clamor have no effect upon you, for you shall be abiding in the secret place of the Most High and learning the secrets of the sanctuary of your Lord. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Eugene. So, now for a word from our senior minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. This is why. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, who has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. I can do this with a smile. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Reverend Ray, you're already here, so all I can say is drop that science.
I'm not the scientist. Sky is the scientist for today.
Take your cap and leave me alone.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah.
So since our powerful pre-service meditation led by Master Sifu Eugene and our amazing music, I feel like we've already had service today. So I'm gonna just leave. No, okay, I'll stay because Tracy would probably get mad. But yeah, so I already feel like we've already been steeped in like the energy of what we're going to be talking about today. Like, I really feel like everyone who has been present, even if you weren't here for the pre-service meditation, and even if you weren't here for the pre-service introduction song, and even if you happen to be in the waiting room right this moment and you're just getting in, so you didn't hear anything Tracy singing the introduction songs and the announcements, like even if you didn't get any of that, just the energy and the vibe in the sanctuary of creation, I feel that we are all very well enveloped and infused with what it means to recognize that we are all one. That we're all intimately, infinitely connected, because there is only that which God is, showing up in, through, and as all that is. Like I can't remember exactly who said it, but there's a scientist, Sky might know. There's a scientist who said, we're all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the universe atomically. And so what we know is that biologically, chemically, and anatomically, like based on the atoms, that each of these three things simply are different ways of saying we are all connected spiritually, atomically. I said anatomically, didn't I? Didn't I say anatomical? Did I say?
Yeah.
When I meant to say?
I got a head nod.
It's one of those mornings. See, if Eugene wasn't so powerful in prayer and stuff, and Scott wasn't so powerful in music, then I wouldn't already be hyped up, because I'm already hyped up. So I'm going to just breathe for a second. Breathe. So today we're talking about this thing called cosmic connections, recognizing that we are all intimately and infinitely connected, whether it is by our atoms, by our biology, by our chemicals. Like, we are all connected because those are simply different words for saying spiritual. Different ways of saying we are all connected by that which is God. So today there's this theme, this idea of just like me. And just follow me for a second when we go here. Knowing, Tracy's messing with me.
Again.
Oh, good grief, man. Knowing that we are each an individualization of the one infinite self, we can move towards a greater compassionate understanding that everyone around us is doing the best they can with what they have in the time that they have. When we can find compassionate understanding, follow that again, when we can find compassionate understanding and care for ourselves in doing the best that we can, we are able to transfer our compassion to those around us. Right? You got that? When we are compassionate and care for ourselves, it is much easier to then extend that compassion and care to others. Is that right, though? Because, I mean, we have this idea of, but like, do I really show compassion and care to me? Tell me, Nosuke, know thyself. Do I know myself well enough to see that I have value? Do I know myself well enough? Am I willing to know myself well enough to care for myself? Am I willing to know myself to such a degree that, as Sky mentioned in his second song, that I am willing to build myself up so that I am then able to extend that to others? I mean, how many of us, either we do it ourselves or we know someone who does it, they burn the candle at 7 different ends. The candle ain't got but 2. But they burn the candle from the top, the bottom, 6 points on the side, and anywhere else that they can possibly put a match. Burn the candle to take care of so many other people that they are always running on fumes. How many of us, either we do it, or we know someone who does it, that we don't take the time to recognize our own intrinsic value to care for ourselves? Because if we're not caring for ourselves, then how are we really able to build someone else up? To hold someone else up? To pour into someone else's life if we're empty, if we're broken, if we're coming from a place of self-condemnation, self-criticism, self-judgment? Isn't it much more likely, isn't it easier if I judge myself for me to judge Tracy? Versus if I'm far more compassionate with myself and I realize that just like me, she's doing the best she can. Just like me, she, with her means and talents, and she is doing her best to have and be an individual who is at peace and happy and joy-filled. Even if I don't agree with the manner in which she does it. Like, I don't think she should drink the green smoothie with all the spinach in it. It's not my choice because the green smoothie's nasty. To me.
They're delicious.
To me, it's nasty. But if I say Tracy is doing her best, just like me, to be healthy and whole and be the expression of that, then it is far less likely that I will judge her and her green smoothie, even though it's fun. But I will find it far easier to be in a state of ease and grace and judge her less, right? Just like me, she's doing her best. Just like me, our neighbors are doing their best. Just like me, each person that we meet is doing their best with what they know, with where they are in consciousness, in beliefs, and with what they have. It's when we know better that we do better. And so am I willing to know better for and about myself first, that I am then able to know better for others, to hold the space for others, to hold in consciousness regarding others, recognizing that their divine spiritual magnificence is right now awakening within them so that they may then also do better and be better. An amazing book that I really enjoy by Mitch Albom, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. Well, regarding our teaching, and I don't know if you read the book or saw the movie, but regarding our teaching, we say that we believe that heaven is within. We believe that heaven is within, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. So these 5 people, for the sake of our conversation today, these 5 people are inside each and every one of us. Who are the 5 people that we meet when we go within? Do we have the inner critic, the inner angry person, the shy child, the abuser? Who are the 5 people we meet when we go within? Will Smith said, look at your 5 closest friends. And they could be associates, they could be your neighbors, whoever it is that you are, your family members, who are the 5 people you associate your time with, invest your time with most often. Those 5 friends are who you are. They are an amalgamation of, they are a representation of you. If you don't like who you are, then you know what you have to do. Change who you're with. Change the 5 people who are within. As within, so without. So if the 5 people that I have around me are people that I really don't like, Tracy and I just watched an episode of Twilight Zone Season 2, where, not gonna give you any spoilers, so relax, breathe, just breathe.
Well, Ashley was looking like
where there's a young girl doing her best she's doing a science experiment regarding psychic abilities, and there are bullies in this, they're at a Catholic boarding school, and The one girl who is the chief bully, if you look at her and the other bullies, they are representations of each other. But ultimately, they're representing on an external way what they are, who they see themselves to be internally. So these 5 people, these 5 belief systems, these 5, whatever they are, paradigms, levels of consciousness, like whatever we're calling them, if we go within and we find, who am I expressing myself to be? How many times have we heard people say things like, the manner in which you show up in the world, the manner in which you treat yourself, you are basically teaching other people how to treat you. So do I treat myself with judgment and criticism? Because if I do, then I'm going to find myself consistently saying things like, oh, you are so clumsy, you are so stupid, you are so lazy, you are so this. And if I'm speaking it outwardly or I'm behaving in that way, then am I not giving off an atmosphere that then encourages others to not build me up? Or maybe they're building me up to be an even stronger and greater demonstration of self-criticism. Because they're going to mirror it right back at me. They're like, well, Ray criticizes himself. Surely he's not going to mind me criticizing him. Why do you tie your tie that way? That's not a normal tie. Windsor knot, dude. Windsor knot. Why do you wear superhero stuff? If I criticize myself so much, then do I not give other people permission to do the same? So how am I intimately connected with who I am being? Am I intimately connected with how I show up? Am I intimately connected with the way in which I express as a divine incarnation, individualized expression of God? I love myself so much. Do you? Do you? Do you love yourself? And if so, how much? Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself at all? Because there are a lot of us who would say, well, you know, it's a challenge and I have a difficult time. But we know this song, I love myself so much that I can love you so much. Tracy's over there singing now. That you can love you so much, then you can start loving me. That you can start loving me. I love myself so much so that I am expressing this love so that you feel it. And then you are able to love you so much. And then through the law of reciprocity and circulation, as I sow, so shall I reap, because now you are giving back the same energy that I gave to you. I love me. Loving me makes me love you. Loving you, you love you, makes you then love me. Law of circulation. Or is it easier? I judge myself so much. That's why I judge you so much.
Whoop.
I don't support myself very much. That's why I can't support you very much. I hate myself so much. That's why I can hate them. You know who them's over there. I hate them so much because it's what I have within me. I can't give to another if I'm giving off hate speech, actions of animosity. I can't give it to somebody else if I don't have it already within me. Who are the 5 people I meet when I go within? And maybe I don't meet them in heaven. Maybe I'm meeting them in hell. Because if we believe that heaven is within, and we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it, then we must also believe that hell as a state of consciousness is also within, and that we will experience it that to the degree that we allow ourselves to be conscious of it. Good grief, as Charlie Brown would say. Man, so I can't give, what'd you say, Tracy?
Good grief is what Charlie
Good
Brown
grief.
says?
Charlie Brown says good grief.
Okay. I thought they said it to Charlie Brown.
Good grief, Charlie Brown. Why is she messing with me this morning? I'm doing my best not to judge her, and it's so difficult. No, but seriously, so which of these are we finding it easier to recognize within ourselves? I love myself so much, or I judge myself so much. I love myself so much, or I don't support myself so much. I don't build myself up. I love myself so much, I hate myself. I hate my freckles. I hate my hair. I hate, or I love myself so much. I am willing to love myself so much. We've often heard this talk about this idea that what we are as the adult, as the 54-year-old me, how often is the 54-year-old me the one speaking or the one responding versus the 5-year-old me, the inner child? Which one is the true us beneath the surface that is responding to anything, whether it's the news, whether it's the neighbors, whatever, whether our children? Is it the 5-year-old me that is yelling at my grandchildren? Is it the 5-year-old me that's yelling at my son and daughter-in-law? Is it the 5-year-old me that's yelling at the neighbor? Is it the 5-year-old me that's yelling at the postman? Is it the who's yelling at who? Who's afraid of who? Is it the 5-year-old me that's afraid of being left alone? Is it the 5-year-old me who's afraid of being abandoned? Is it the 5-year-old me who's afraid of being betrayed? And because the 5-year-old me is afraid of it, and the 5-year-old is the one driving the car, the 5-year-old one refuses to let friends in. I'd rather drive by myself. Because the moment I let people in, I'm increasing the likelihood that they will hurt me. Which was also part of the lesson in the Twilight Zone that we watched, FYI, because the bullies didn't want to let people in. It's easier to keep them at bay. But which one of these is doing the actual interaction? Which one are we connecting from? In the Gospel of Thomas, it says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. When we suppress and deny, I'm not angry. I'm a CSL minister. I'm never angry. There's only God. God is good all the time. All the time God is good. I only believe in unity and oneness. That's all. Yay! I love everyone. I love everyone. And so I deny. I'm never depressed. Depression? Depression is for those other people. I'm a CSL religious science practitioner. I didn't know he was sad and lonely and depressed. I never want to eat a cookie because I, comfort foods. That's never me. But mind you, if I had cookies 2 days ago, cookies would have been gone.
Cookies, cake, pie.
Cookies, cake, pie, ice cream. Radio want both.
All.
Radio want all.
Yes.
So when we deny what we're feeling, when we deny these emotions, when we deny any of these aspects, then it's going to hurt us. It's going to destroy us. But when we are authentic and open and transparent and bring it all to the surface, when we let the 5-year-old inner child mature, then we find we are emancipated, we are set free from the shackles of. Because when we don't, then we grow, we mature to a certain degree, we age, and then we get to this. I love these images. I love the artists who created these images because it's the older people seeing a reflection of themselves and reminiscing, remembering. And these are, if I recall the story correctly, these are actual pictures of these people. So the woman at the sink, both the older version and the younger version are both her. They're both actual images of her that the photographer put together. But when we see ourselves and we look back on our lives, do we look back in judgment? Do we look back in regret? Do we look back in some form of invalidation of who and what we are? Are we connected to ourselves through these modes of connectivity? I'm connected to myself through judgment. I'm connected to myself through regret. I'm connected to myself through invalidation. Is that what I'm connected to myself with and through? Or am I connected to myself with gratitude and grace and blessings? Because however I'm connected to me is how I am going to connect to others. How I'm going to connect with you. Do I see and feel, Eugene talked about in the pre-service meditation, the gratitude that I feel for each of my body parts. I feel gratitude for my heart, and my heart smiles at me. I feel gratitude to my large and small intestines, and they send gratitude and smile, like each of these parts of who I am, because I'm connected to my heart. Thank goodness. Because if I wasn't connected to my heart in some way, shape, or form, even if it was a bionic, like I need to be connected to the heart. Got to be connected. So I'm grateful for this connection. I'm grateful for the workings of each organ, each tendon. I'm grateful for it. But how often do we sit with that? How often do we bless our own body temples and smile in gratitude and move with ease and grace? Because once again, if I am intimately connected with myself at this level, then I have no choice. Let me say no choice. Then I have no choice, because that's what my cup runneth over with. My cup runneth over with gratitude and joy and grace and ease and blessings to such a degree that, of course, I'm giving from the overflow. Just like me, you are seeking happiness in your life. Just like me, you are doing your best to avoid suffering in your life. Just like me, you too have known some level of sadness. Just like me, you want to be loved. Just like me. And when I can acknowledge this for myself, then it's easier for me to communicate with others, to see others in this light. Just like me, you were once an innocent child. Just like me, you are on a spiritual journey. Just like me. And if I can connect with myself recognizing this, then it's easier to connect with you recognizing this. It's easier to understand that we are all connected. Atomically, chemically, biologically, spiritually, we are all connected. Eugene established that there is no circumference in God, like there isn't one. So there's nothing outside of it. And if there's nothing outside of it, then everything within it is of it, is in it. It is in all that is. There is only, so how could we not be intimately connected? Through everything. You know, we talk about 6 degrees of separation as a way of identifying that Oprah and I are simply 6 people apart. There's me, and her. And if I know those people, then I can do the combination and get there, right? But we're 1 degree to it, all that is, because I'm God, she's God. I'm God, you're God. There is only that which God is, the infinite I am, that I am ever becoming. And that truth is what's true for all of us. And yet, the challenge of recognizing that we are connected with everyone and everything is we are going to find people that we don't like. We are going to find people that we don't get along with. We are going to find people that are, quote unquote, our polar opposites. We are going to find people who are filled with hate. And nonetheless, our charge, our work is, how do I see the divine connection even though? Ernest Holmes says, what we outwardly are and what we become depends upon what we are thinking and breathe. So our thinking determines who and what we are outwardly and who and what we become. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Be mindful, be careful, take charge of what you're... Ooh, that's a lot. That's a whoa. Because, you know, I had some thoughts the other day. Wow. And the thoughts I was thinking, oh, wow. If I only... Oh, goodness, wow. Ooh, that's a lot. Depends upon what we are thinking, for this is the way we use the creative power. Our thinking and our feeling become our being. Thinking and feeling creates. Thinking and feeling manifests. This is why we have spiritual practices that help us to get in tune with what we're thinking, how we are being mindful, how we are master stewards of the thinking process. Because when we're not, when we are simply operating on the default system of our culture and society, then basically we are connecting with other people, including ourselves, as if this is the bridge. This is the bridge between Tracy and I. This is the bridge between I and a neighbor. This is the bridge between me and a relative. And I see the bridge as one, that junk's skinny. It's a little, that's a little thin to be trying to walk. That's like a tightrope. And I can't see, oh, that's far. That means if I misstep in this relationship, then I can fall. I can fall and I might die. It's got holes and spaces in it. I don't trust this connection. I'm going to just run across. If we operate based upon culture and society, then it teaches us to not trust people. It teaches us to be aware of, be warned by. Don't trust strangers. But Richard Bach says, strangers are merely friends or family that we have yet to meet. But don't trust strangers. People are out to get you. You got to get yours before they get, because, you know, dog race, rat race, everybody wants their cheese. Who moved my cheese? Who ate my cheese? Who cut the cheese? It's all about fighting for and questioning and judging. But if we go to a more spiritual paradigm of connection, then we recognize that infinitely that which connects us to ourselves and everyone else and all that is a bridge that cannot be broken, cannot be weathered, cannot be weakened. It cannot, because it is that which God is. We are divinely connected to everything. And for those of you who can see this next slide, no, I'm not reading all of this. It's simply to give you an example of the meta prayer, which says, my heart fills with loving kindness. I love myself. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May all beings in my vicinity be happy, be well, be peaceful, and be free. It starts with each one of us. May I be this, that I then feel this and do this, and then may I be able to see others as this, and may this blessing also change them, that they also, just like me, are happy, are free, are loved, are nurtured and supported, fed and clothed. just like me. Starts with us. And then the ripples go out. So that the work is recognizing that any global connections, no matter where on the world it is, however it's all connected globally, all of these global connections start as a local connection. Eugene connected all of our body parts. The toe bone's connected to the ankle bone. The ankle bone's connected to the knee bone. There's the leg bone in there, but the knee bone's connected to the neck bone. Them's the working of the Lord, right? So the idea is when we recognize that we are demonstrating the connection of spirit in our own physical body temple, how our parts connect and move, then I recognize that my left hand and my right hand are connected to a wrist, connected to a forearm, connected to an elbow, connected to a tricep, bicep, connected to a deltoid, connected to a core. It's all connected. The left and the right are connected. Just saying. Two hemispheres of my brain connected. Two parts of a heart connected. It's all connected. But when I focus on they're apart, I can even move them further apart. They're still connected. How do I focus on and recognize the intimate connection of the local so that that connection can then be recognized and demonstrated as a global, as a world that works for all? Because once again, if I can't make my house work for me, I can't make my body work for me, I can't make my mind work for me. Ooh, that's a lot. If I can't get my mind to do what I want my mind to do, then how do I get my body to act the way I want my body to act? How do I get my life to work the way I want my work? I don't know how to focus. Become a steward of my thinking, my feeling, my speaking, my doing, my being. Build myself up, nurture myself, smile at myself, care for myself. And then let that cup runneth over, that I then build others up, pour into others, support others, nurture others, hold the space for others, pray for others, smile at others, whether they smile back or not. Ernest Holmes says, in turning to the law, realize that it is a law of reflection. Life is the mirror of king and slave. What we reflect out to the world reflects to us. When we smile at the world smiles back. We change our reflection to that of God reflecting through us. What comes back is the same, and he says, if not more, and I'm going to just say, is the same and more, and even greater. I came that you may have life and have life abundantly. Not I came that you may have life and maybe abundantly. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all of us are created in the power, the principle of equity. And that among these are the right to be free, the right to be happy, the right to be blessed, the right to be a being of joy. But it starts with us and our willingness to reflect that outwardly. Ernest Holmes said, the only God we will ever know is the one that we embody. So if we want to know God as love, then we must embody love. If we want to know God as wisdom, then we must embody wisdom. If we want to know God as cosmic connection, then we must embody cosmic connection. However it is that we want to know God, we must know ourselves. That's a lot. It's a lot. And let us bear in mind that what we see in others is also a reflection of what we see in God. So how do I see beyond? Licensed practitioners are trained to see beyond the condition, beyond the effect, beyond the surface. Because then I can see through illness to wellness. I can see through discord to being of one accord. Disharmony, I see through it and I see harmony. Let us bear in mind that what we see in others, I see God in you. I don't see the surface as being the truth of your being. I see past that through to the truth of your being. Because it's easy for us to judge others rather than, if we see someone make a mathematical error, someone adds 2 plus 2 and they get 7. Do we blame them and condemn them as, you are evil, you are a sinner, you should be cast into the fiery pits of hell? Or do we simply recognize that there is an error in how they are working the law of mathematics? How is that any different than a clan member? You have used the law of co-creation, the law of creation, the law of mind and action to add 2 things to get the quote-unquote wrong answer. You have added black plus white equals othering, equals hating someone, equals, you're miscalculating this equation. And so in the same way that we train others to say 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 take away, right? We work through the equation, the law of mathematics. Why do we not do the exact same thing with culture and society? Recognize that it is a misrepresentation, a miscalculation of principle that is creating this less than life affirming thing called injustice, racism, sexism, homophobia, division in government, polarization, segregation. It's because people are miscalculating principle. But that's where the work is. The work is precisely there when we are most challenged by people to see through it, to see past it, to see beyond it, and not anchor ourselves to it as if it is what must be. In the Bible, there's a phrase that says, if you love only those who love you, why should you get credit for that? Like, that's easy. You love people who love you. That's easy. Even sinners love those who love them. The work is, the challenge is, how do you love those who hate you? How do you stand in a representation and demonstration of I know who and what I am? And so even when you call me out my name, even when you want to burn a cross on my yard, I am going to be like that gentleman to the best of my ability, and I am going to say that I'm collecting your clan robes. Because I'm going to know the power of who you are so powerfully that you are willing to shed and know the truth of you to the degree that I know the truth of you. That's not easy. But therein lies the work. How do we love ourselves so much so that we can love others so much, so that others can love themselves so much, and that they then love others as well, including us? Ernest Holmes said the relationship between the individual and the universal mind is one of reflection. What we image for ourselves, it images for us. This divine, intimate creation and connection, how we use our minds to image or imagine, is how spirit images or imagines back to us, because there's only one mind, and that mind is God. So what I imprint in my mind is imprinted in the mind of God. And what's imprinted in the mind of God, law says yes, and it gives it back to me. Today's application and practice, connecting with ourselves. What do we do to better acquaint ourselves with ourselves? What do we do? What do we practice? How well do we know ourselves? How well do we know what we want, what we need, what we desire? There's a book, it's a practice, nonviolent communication, and one of the things that is emphasized in the writings of nonviolent communication, nonviolent communicators, is to talk about, what do I need? Not judging, not criticizing. What do I need? What do you need? And then how do we go to that base place of what is needed to build the bridge, to find the connection, because then we're not at each other, we're with each other. But if I don't know what I need, I don't know what I want. Do I want the chicken sticks or the fish sticks or the cheese sticks or the bread sticks? Do I want sticks at all? I don't know what I want. I can't make up my mind.
Hey.
Just saying. Do we know what we want? How friendly and compassionate are we towards ourselves? Are we our own best friend or our own worst enemy? Connection with spirit. What do we do to connect with spirit, God? What do we do to know and know that we know ourselves as God individualized? How unified with God do we feel at any given moment? Like, we have thousands and thousands of spiritual practices that help us connect with ourselves and connect with spirit and connect with others. But the thing is, once again, we have to do the work. We have to do the practice. We have to do whatever it is in order to reap. You know, you got to take the seeds out of the packet and put them in the ground and then water them and tend to the soil. And that takes work. And sometimes that work means getting on your hands and knees and getting dirty and then having to wash your jeans. And it takes work. But if we want the zucchini, we want the great pumpkin, we want whatever it is, then we have to be willing to do the work. Connecting with others. What do we do to improve our interpersonal communication and relationships? How do we build rapport with others? How often do we other others and segregate ourselves from someone because of what they think, believe, where they live, how they dress, etc.? I mean, how many of us actually engage in conversation with someone that we know believes something completely different? Like, I'm still friends on Facebook with, like, as long as you are respectful and we can converse, then I'm friends with people on Facebook who have a variety of beliefs about a variety of things. Because the more I am open, the more I am willing to engage, the more the consciousness of the vision, awakening humanity to their spiritual magnificence and a world that works for all, the more that's going to come about. But if I close the doors, I'm not going to talk to you because you drink a green smoothie. I'm not going to talk to you because you are a cat person and I'm a dog person. I'm not going to talk to you because of what side of the aisle you are in Congress or Senate. I'm not going to talk to you because of who you voted for. I'm not going to talk to you because of what you believe about God, or you believe in God and I'm an atheist. Or if I close the door, if we close the door on all of these, then how do we ever truly build a world that works for all? How often do we engage others with a smile, with a hello, with a how are you? Breathing as we prep for our declaration, our affirmation for this week. I'll read it first, then together. Today I embody and express all of God's good outwardly, so that each person I meet can have the same experience of good, and I'm adding, or God, through me. Together. Today I embody and express all of God's good outwardly, so that each person I meet can have the same experience of good, or God, through me. And we breathe as we prepare to re-engage the musical mastery of Sky Nelson. And by the way, just want to throw this out there, Jim and I interviewed Sky. That's how I met this amazing gentleman. And if you haven't read his book, Flow, and I can't wait for the other ones, I'm like ready to read now. It is a very powerful book and probably going to be a book that we're going to use for a study group or something, just so you know. So anyhow, back to my thing. So now let us welcome the musical mastery of Sky Nelson. Thank you, Sky.
This song speaks so deeply to me. It's a song that I wrote from the lyrics of a wonderful leader in our community named Marianne Williamson. This is from her passage called A Return to Love. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and sure? But you're a child of God. Why would you play small, make others feel secure? You were born to manifest the glory of within. Our deepest fear is not our weakness. Our deepest fear is our strength. It's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us to silence. It keeps our shadows tall. But there is nothing big in playing small. When we let our own light shine, unconsciously we give our friends the strength to do the same. When we free ourselves from fear, others get permission to love themselves again. We were born to manifest the glory of within. Our deepest fear, not our weakness. Our deepest fear is our strength. It's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us to silence. It keeps our shadows tall. But there is nothing big in playing small. And it's not just in me. And it's not just in some of us. It's in everyone you meet. There's not a single one of us that isn't fabulous. Our deepest fear is not our weakness. deepest fear is our strength. It's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us to silence and keeps our shadows tall. But there is nothing big in playing small. No, there is nothing big in playing small.
Thank you so much, Sky. It's such a beautiful reminder to know that, like, there's no benefit, there's no reason for us to play small. The infinite I am, God itself, Spirit, Source, capital U, Universe, has chosen to incarnate itself, individualize itself, express itself in, through, and as each and every one of us. Can't play small with that. So why do it? So this point of service, we gather together to recognize the infinite wealth, prosperity, and abundance we are as a community, knowing that we as a community are not playing small. We as a community are stepping into our greatness, are expressing our greatness, are being that which we are as God expressing as the CSL Greater Baltimore community. And what that means is we know that we already have the divine right location for a new building. We have youth ministry, men's ministry, women's ministry, the LGBTQIA2+, like we have this and so much more. We have classes for every age group. We have retreats. We have an art gallery. We have a labyrinth. Like we have all of this stuff and so much more that we have visioned for, knowing that it is who and what we are expressing as a community. And so we must also recognize that in order to demonstrate this and manifest this as the physical, we pray, we treat, we move our feet, and we also tithe, offer, and give financially, because we know that there is also the financial business side of what it takes to run a spiritual center. And so this time, we anchor into what that means. And we remember that the practitioner core of CSL Greater Baltimore has pledged that by the end of December to raise $5,000, and at this present moment it's at $3,147.50. And the practitioner core, yes, applause to the practitioners. And we remember that this pledge is in addition to the tithing that the practitioners already do. So there's the tithing to the center that the Prac Corps does individually, and there's this separate pledge that the Prac Corps is giving on top of to expand what it means to be CSL Greater Baltimore. And the Practitioner Corps has extended an invitation to the community to also double or match, like however you want to say it for yourself, double your tithes and offering, or match what the practitioners are, like however you want to do it, but it's recognizing that you are able to give from your overflow to such a degree that we are demonstrating and manifesting an abundant and prosperous center and community to do all of the great work that we have chosen to do in the greater Baltimore region. And because we already recognize we are a international center per se, because we've had folks join us from Jamaica and Canada and a whole bunch of China, like a whole bunch of places people have joined in virtually, we know that there is no reason for that to end.
That's right.
So there are three ways that you may give of your tithes and offerings: through PayPal, text messaging, or the postal mail. Keeping in mind that you can add a memo or some kind of note to say if you want to divide up how your tithes are
Circulated?
Or given. So you can say, I'm giving, half of my tithe to the new building fund and the other half to general tithes and offerings. I'm giving 25% of it to the emergency care fund, and you can divide up how you want it. And if you're not sure what these other ways are or other things are, feel free to email or contact myself, the treasurer, Sue Monahan, or any of the board members and ask. And when sending things through postal mail, double check with Sue Monahan, the treasurer, to make sure that you have the address that she wants postal checks, money orders, etc. to be sent to, because I know that there was a recent issue with someone who sent in an offering. So double check with her just to make sure. And if there are any questions upon anything else, regarding anything else, tithes, offerings, donations, etc. regarding, feel free to go to the website, feel free to call, email me, feel free to check in and ask. At this time, let us declare what we know of ourselves as a prosperous community. Are you ready?
Ready!
Then let us begin. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. And so it is.
And so it is.
So we come to that time of service that Tracy reminds you to go out and make today awesome.
Yes.
Make it an awesome day.
Woo.
Make it a day filled with awe and power and love and joy and connection. Find ways to connect with folks. And a reminder that today after service there is both one-on-one prayer. So if you want prayer, type into the chat that you are staying for prayer. If you are staying for visioning, no need to type anything. But if you are staying for prayer and visioning, then type prayer and visioning so we know that once you're done praying, you want to be in visioning. Got that? We good? Type prayer if you want prayer. Type prayer and visioning if you are doing both. And then we will make sure that you are, put where you need to be put. Other than that, it's time to close us out. Recognizing that there is only that which is the infinite power, presence of love itself. The divine, infinitely and always connected to what it is as each individualized expression. All that is connected. All that is in the one. All that is God. And so as we end service, we know that ending this particular form of service is only stepping us into the next phase of how we are going out into our own lives, into our own homes, into our own communities to continue to serve. We serve to smile at ourselves and at others. We serve to build others up. We serve to no longer play small, but to step into the greatness of who and what we are as the divine power and presence of all that is showing up in us, through us, and as us. So how we walk the walk, how we love this love, and how we shine this light never ends. For that which God is infinite, eternal, and ever expanding. And so we go forth as this power and this presence, love made flesh. And so it is. Namaste, everyone. Blessings, peace, and joy.